please make sure to subscribe and like. We are almost at 500 subs. Anyway, let's get started. I recently just got back into playing Fallout 76 over a month ago, and let me tell you, that game is not a disaster that it once was. It's no longer just an empty, contentless wasteland with countless bugs. Now it's filled with so much content and a little bit of bugs. But what makes Fallout great is its setting, its story, and of course its creatures. Ever since I was younger playing Fallout New Vegas, never finished the game by the way, I was always terrified of the creatures and monsters that Fallout had within their universe. It was always intriguing to see the different designs of these beasts, and I always thought to myself, what if the Great War actually happened and I was the only one who survived it? And in this post-apocalyptic wasteland, these monsters go from fiction to reality. Could I, Angel, realistically defeat them? Well, in today's video I wanted to see if me or you could actually fight the creatures from Fallout. By the way, check out Linkmer's video where he talks about if you could actually fight the FNAF animatronics. Shout out to him for inspiring me to make this video. Let's begin. Okay, so since this is my idea, I will volunteer as tribute and enter the ring with these monstrosities. I'm no One Punch Man or Little Mac, but like any fighter, I have my advantages and disadvantages. Let's go over the advantages. So, I am 6'2", I weigh 180 pounds, and I work out 5 times a week. How can I lose? Well, I've never actually been in a fight, I've never beat my older brother in a fight, and I don't even know how to take a hit. So, do I still have a chance? But these aren't people I'm fighting, they're monsters. So even if I was really strong and had the most perfect physique known to mankind, I would still lose. So to make this somewhat fair, as many of you might know, in the Fallout series there are perks and perk points, things that make you special. And when you level up, you have the opportunity to upgrade yourself with some wacky and overpowered abilities. But I'm not going to be using any of those because we both know that Fallout has some overpowered weapons and abilities, and that wouldn't make this fun at all. The perks that I'll be using is Iron Fist, which reads, your punching attacks now do 10% more damage, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to be maxing this one out. Now my punching attacks do 20% more damage. Plus, on top of that, to at least give me a chance against the bigger, beefier enemies, I'm going to be having the Serendipity perk, which at max rank gives you a 45% chance to avoid damage when low health. Now, if you think this is hacks, remember, this is just for fun. This isn't actually going to happen anytime soon. So the way this is going to work is it's like a tournament, starting off with the somewhat easier opponents and working our way up to the more challenging ones. Then the final boss. The first fighter we have comes in at 18 inches long and slightly bigger than your average house cat. It's the Rad Roach. Let's see how this fight goes down. A lot of people are scared of cockroaches, so if you have a really bad fear of cockroaches, then you would certainly lose against a Rad Roach. Personally, I'm not scared of them. I find them more intriguing than scary, so this is what I would do. Rad Roaches lunge while attacking, so in midair while it jumps on me, I would catch it and try to squeeze it with my hand really hard. It's big, but it's just a giant cockroach, no armor, no crazy spikes. It would be disgusting, absolutely, with its blood, its innards just coming out or spilling all over me. And I wouldn't stop there. I would then let it go and then stomp on its head over and over again until its head is just completely gone and turned to mush. But I would not count this as a total win because most likely this Rad Roach would have a disease and I would develop either some sort of infection or virus that obviously can't be cured in this new world. So I'd probably die a couple weeks later. I'll give this one a tie. Current record 0-0-1. Let me know down below, how would you do fighting against a Rad Roach? Moving on to the next fighter. As I'm wandering the wasteland alone, I stumble upon an abandoned gas station. It's late at night, so I need some shelter to rest up. As I enter in, I search for any signs of someone or something living there. There's nothing. I find the bedroom with a bed. I drop my backpack and finally, through all the chaos, I can finally rest. Until I hear some noises under my bed that seem to travel all around the gas station. I get up to see what it is. As I'm going through the gas station, I still hear the noises, but it sounds like it's getting closer. Out of nowhere, a giant mole rat, bigger than a large dog, emerges out of the ground. Its dark skin and glowing eyes and large glowing teeth. He starts to hiss at me. I need some sleep tonight, and this thing won't stop me. Bring it on. A mole rat is really fast, but it's also really weak. Mole rats throughout the Fallout games have always pretty much died in 1 or 2 hits. What's interesting about these guys is that when they sense they're in danger, they bury themselves underground and come back up behind you. Just had to give this little background. Okay, so if the mole rat would charge at me, I would get out of its way, then I would try to punch it in its head. While it's hindered, it most likely would try to bury itself back underground. I would then stop moving so it doesn't hear where I am. Then when it comes back up, I would have the element of surprise. I would grab it despite it being disgusting. I'd pick it up and drop it hard to the ground, and then go on top of it using my weight as a trap, and then I just would beat its face in. Yes, my hands would be carved up and skinned because of its big sharp teeth. I think I'd walk out there with a W. That's how I feel a fight between me and a mole rat would go, so I'm very confident that I'd absolutely beat this thing if it was real. Let me know down below, how would you do against a glowing mole rat? My current record stands at 1-0-1. As moving up in the ranks, my opponents will no longer be this easy. In my continued journey of finding food or just some signs of life, I go into an abandoned supermarket. I search the aisles for something useful. In this absolute silence, I hear some aisle shelves being knocked over and some footsteps. I crouch to stay hidden. I hear some more noises because it could be someone like me, someone who's surviving this new world. I communicate while I walk slowly. I see someone. I yell, "Hey!" with a smile. As the person turns around, my smile fades. Their faces burned, with clothes missing. More people emerge around them. They all look the same. Dead eyes, slouched posture. They begin to snarl and growl. A group of at least 10 come running at me. That's right, my next opponent is a group of feral ghouls. Feral ghouls are fairly easy to take on individually, but when they're in a large group, you're in trouble. Their speed is also something to look out for. When they're threatened or attacking, they can run really fast. Feral ghouls are humans who have been heavily radiated and mutated by radiation. Because of this, their features and mental status deteriorated, making them feral, hence feral ghouls. Anyway, if you've seen Walking Dead, characters always die when there are too many zombies, but these aren't zombies, so they're faster and stronger. So one-on-one, I could beat it no problem, maybe even 2. But if there are 10, I'm done. Taking hits from multiple sides, plus more ghouls are diseased, so like the Rad Roach, even if I do win, I'd be sick as a skunk. Like I said, feral ghouls are not a challenge when one-on-one, but in a group, it'd be hard to kill them without taking any damage myself, especially if the only weapons I have are my hands. Let me know down below, how many ghouls do you think you could take before you go down? Current record stands at 1-1-1. It's only going to get harder from here, folks. My quest continues. As I'm traversing through a city, I see a fiery glow in one of the entrances of a building. In hopes of finding people, I approach it. As I get closer, I catch the smell of rotten meat and a disgusting smell of many corpses. I then see a ball of meat stuck together. At the same time, I see an 8-foot-tall green man wearing scraps of armor, and the look on his face is very menacing. I then try to leave, but as I leave, I set off a trap that alerts him. He sees me, and he calls out angrily. It's a super mutant. Seeing no way out of this, I guess it's time to put them up. Super mutants range from sizes and classes. In this particular situation, I'm going up against a regular super mutant who has no weapon. They're always taller and more muscular than any human alive. Also, they weigh more than double. Alright, back to the bout. The mutant throws a punch. Being slower and larger, I see it coming. I dodge it and go and punch it on its side. It feels it for sure. He yells, and he throws another and misses again. I hit him in the face, breaking his face. He lunges at me, grabbing me, then slamming me. The force that he has is powerful. I break my back as I lay there in front of him. He goes to slam both of his hands on my chest. The adrenaline of life and death kick in. I get up, and despite my immense pain, I punch him in the shoulder and in the jaw. I break his jaw, but because of his strong skull, I break my hand in the process. Finally, he's staggered, and he starts to move slow. Using my other fist, I punch him square in the face, breaking his nose and killing him. I crawl away from the fight with a broken back and a shattered hand. I've won, but at what cost? I honestly think that this is how, with these perks and my abilities, I think I could beat a mutant in real life. How would you do against a super mutant? Current record stands at 2-1-1. Moving on to the next fight. The Mire, a very dark and scary place that has danger lurking at every corner, but it is essential when trying to find food and water. During my search against the constant battle of thirst, I come across a pond. I collect some water to boil. As I'm almost done, I hear some splashes. I look across the pond and see a giant crab-bug hybrid with a thick shell. It's a Mirelurk. Mirelurks are very aggressive when approached or even just near. They will attack just because they want to. Mirelurks have very hard shells, so if I was to meet up with one, how I would go about fighting it is I think that my punches would finally break and crack its shell, but by then I think that they would attack me to make me bleed out and die. Also, they're kind of fast. One moment they're far away, and at another they're close by you. So while I'm fighting one, others would probably be alerted and come beat me up. So what I would try to do is this. The Mirelurk would try to hit me. I would dodge it and try to hit it where there is no hard shell, its body and its face, which is really soft. I would punch it enough times in its body where it would certainly take damage. I was also thinking that if I could tear off its little limbs in front, further immobilizing it and push it on its back, while its belly and face is exposed, I'd then just unload a bunch of serious punches on it. But a lot of things would just have to go right for that to happen. So realistically, I think that I would lose against a Mirelurk. Let me know down below, how would you do against one? Current record stands at 2-1-2. I didn't want to mention a raider since it's just a guy with cool armor and it's boring compared to the other characters, but if I'm being honest, my wins are close to my losses. So if I was in the wasteland and a raider tried killing me and robbing me of my supplies, then I'm taking care of him. I'm giving him that 2-piece combo. Plus, if you played Fallout, then you know that raiders aren't that scary as compared to other creatures and enemies in the Fallout universe. So like I said, if a raider tries to do me wrong, then I'm sending him back to his camp in a body bag. Current record stands at 3-1-2. Moving on to the next and final fight. If you're a fan of Fallout, then you know who's next. Yes, the final boss of this tournament, the king and one of the most interesting enemies in the Fallout universe. It's a death mole miner. It's a mole miner. Oh, did you think I was going to say Deathclaw? No, that's crazy. The Mole Miner is the true menace of Fallout. There are many different variants of Mole Miners. There's 14 different types, but the one that I want to focus on is the Mole Miner Juggernaut, a boss variant who carries this big backpack with a bunch of things. Also, we all know that the Mole Miners have bad aim. At least that's what I've experienced. Maybe it's because they're so hunched over. But anyway, how would I defeat this one? Well, you see how a Mole Miner kind of moves stiffly because of their posture. Maybe with this particular variant, I could jump on its backpack and try to knock it over. And while yes, it might weigh more than me, if I swing back and forth knocking him over while he's down, I would just simply remove his mask. I really don't have to attack him. I mean, I'd feel kind of bad just watching him there suffocating. I really wouldn't know what to do. I'd feel bad. And then I'd just walk away. Is that really a win? I guess so. Anyway, I guess I'd have the belt and walk away with a W. There are so many enemies and characters in Fallout, I haven't even scratched the surface, and robots are a whole other thing. So, if you guys want me to do a part 2, let me know down below in the comments. Plus, make sure to check out some of my other videos. I also want to thank you so much for the support on my channel. We are approaching 500 subs, so please subscribe and like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and stay safe.